Hi, everyone. Once more, we are here today with Tom Althouse on Codebreaker Real Talk. I have Chad, I have Celeste on with me today, and today is actually season 2, episode 2, the 14th video. Ah!
Well
So,
done.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for being on. Um, we're all doing this together. I'm very grateful for the support that we've had of people watching. I know that my channel is kind of like a back channel because they don't want us to really talk about this, but we will. And we're going to talk a little bit about the AI, um, how right now in Saudi Arabia, they have, Sophia is actually a citizen of Saudi Arabia, and she wants tons of bodies. She doesn't just want her. She wants to be like, which one is the one with all the hands? Not only goddess Kali, but she wants to be like the Hindu goddess with
Oh,
all.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what they're doing right now.
Shiva.
Say again.
Is it Shiva?
Shiva, yes, Shiva. So they're testing right now. They're testing the satellites that Tom's going to talk about, and also Arthur. Um, what is his name? Arthur something that I've shared. Sorry, with an F on Instagram. Also talks about. He talks about the 5G, the birds. Why are they all of a sudden dying? Because they're testing out the drones that you can't see. They're spraying us with chemicals. They're
Mhm.
spraying us with the you know what.
Mhm.
Now they have two new ones. And when I saw back in March of 2019, when I saw these, baby Jabberwockies, I saw 5+1. And I saw the boots on the ground. I saw these vehicles being lined up and these vehicles giving the military a white piece of paper. And those were the only ones that would be able to drive, which I do not consent. We are here to change this reality of these drones, of these AI. We're pretty much here to interfere with the AI God wars that are coming up. And that's, I see, starting, it actually already started this year. Agenda 2025, 26, 24, a lot of major things are happening there too. However, I have seen it in my personal life. I have lost friendships because the AI, like I gave my class in part 2, they like to mess with you and your phone, and they will spread lies about you and then say that somebody sent it to you. Or like with what happened to me, they were not letting me communicate with my friends, and they never got my messages, and then they didn't get them until 10 days later. So they want to erase us. That's what we're going to start with Tom, and that's his words. He was telling me earlier about how he also saw Stephen Greer, how they actually manipulate, and this is actually coming from the Greys to the scientists. They actually gave the GO, right, that they put in the baby Jabberwocky to try and control us. They also sprayed us with that to see how they can manipulate us and how they can erase us. Okay, so here we are with Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing too, because a lot of us have been quiet about experiences that we've had. And when I heard Mr. Greer talking, or Dr. Greer, I was very interested because it's like we've had experiences. Some of us have been, they like to use the word chosen, and we will have certain things inserted, like nanotech transmitter things. It's almost like so that telepathy can be done and we can be given information and ideas and pictures and imagery that we feed off of. Artists a lot of times work off of imagery. I'll see imagery and that's how I create. I'll see the imagery and go, oh my God, that's a great story, and off I'll go. And like I would talk to Rosanne Barr recently about the latest one, and she got all excited about, like, we're making this. It was imagery that triggered that whole process and opened my eyes. Also, your dreams will come up with like lessons. It's like going to college in your dream, and you'll go to, and you'll see these experiences that bring home an idea that you did not get in your waking hours. And it's almost like just instruction through a film being shown to you that you're immersed in. And that's going to be the future. We're going to have films that we are in, like beyond virtual reality. We'll be living in the film, interacting in the film. The film will have parameters and certain gears to it that it will allow it to flow as we manipulate the film world. So that experience will go different ways according to how we choose the path as being an audience of that film, where it'll be individual experiences within these films. And so it's going to be very interesting that you'll have a film that you are the director of as you're immersed in it, living that film. How about that? And that's basically, how these dreams are working right now. So these things are transmitted. Now, many of us have experiences where we've been like pulled off the bed at night or things like this. And you actually feel it. It's terrorizing. It's terrorizing. I haven't spoken about this much before because it's considered bad, but now it's all coming out. So many of us, we have lumps all over our body. We have these different ideas that come to us, and we felt like regular Joe Schmoes or Jane Schmoes. And it's like suddenly we have the Pythagorean theorem, the parts they couldn't do. We got that. We got Windows and internet before Steve Jobs and Bill Gates stole and claimed it. When Disney went for it too with Eisner. We got all these things like the Matrix story, which actually the Immortal story never was titled The Matrix in Copyright Office. It was always copyrighted The Immortals, and the studios called it that also. Interesting. It was the Wachowskis were the only ones that called it Matrix that didn't even copyright it. So all these things are given to us, including tech like Neuralink. And that is not Elon Musk's creation. And now we know from Dr. Greer and others that what they've done is the agencies will just take your work and deny your patent. They'll just give it to these other guys. So many patents have been taken. There's a guy who came up with a circular device that was on one documentary. And it was like a power generator from zero energy, like super, where you don't need oil and gas and coal anymore. And they took it and they didn't allow them to have a patent on it. And then they changed the law with my situation, of course, where it's not who created it first, it's who spikes it first. So an engineer isn't really the one that's going to come up with something like this. It's going to be a visionary, someone, usually a writer, an artist, is going to come up with a concept. The engineer is the one that fleshes it out. But they're cutting that out. They're giving it right to the engineer. And in the case of our screenplay, they're giving it right to the investment firms that claim they created it. Think of that. So the investment firms are created the Immortals, they're claiming. And Elon Musk, an engineer, created Neuralink. No, it's the visionaries it's taken from that the agencies will destroy and control because they want the information flow and they want the fourth estate to have the power. So many topics we can go off on right now, but here's my point. That's my work, and this is other people's work too. We're the only ones that fully understand it, and that's one of the reasons I'm still alive, because I'm considered a resource asset, because it came to me, it was given to me. But the thing is that they were the ones that created it, first concepts of it. We brought it forward, we publish it. There is no right in heaven or hell to take it from us. But these agencies just give it to people like these scumbags like Elon Musk, that is really a nobody, whose all fame is off of stolen material. And what they do is they say, okay, game over. You didn't do anything about it. You slept on your rights. You didn't. There's nothing we could do. We couldn't fight it in the courts. They wouldn't let us. Our sons are dying. We're not able to bring it forward. So all we can do is talk about it. And then we're called babies, man babies, whining, all that stuff, which is part of the CIA program to pillorize you, to mock you in public. The mainstream media is paid cash by the agencies to do these things. It all comes together. It's very clear. But the point is, that is our work, not Elon Musk's. It is not the guy who came up with the water car and the zero, gravity, all this other stuff. These guys are the ones that created it. They should logically have patents automatically assigned for being first creators. So that's what I'm going to advocate is, if you create something first, you have an automatic bona fide patent applied to you for having created it first. No one can nudge you out of the way, because you're the one that understands best, has the passion for it, also understands the bad things and good things. That's what I'm going to be asking in the future, is retroactively refitting rights to people that actually came up with it first. If we published it, we proved it. And that takes away these false patents the agencies have been bestowing on scumbags like Elon Musk. We need to restore it to the actual people. So in the future, what I'm looking for, and I think is going to happen as we write this planet and get it right, is that you're going to have bona fide, established patents immediately when you come up with something. So Veronica, if you came up with a way to cradle babies where they're in zero gravity and protected and sung to and loved and spoken to at all times, and you came up with that, Elon Musk doesn't get to take it, nor Martha Stewart. You are patented immediately for the concept at that moment by virtue of creating it. That's what we're going to do in the future. Does that make sense? It's
Yes.
end of story. That's what's going to happen. We're going to return to logic, because visionaries have said it's enough. Let's go back to logical means. So I'm looking forward to that, and you watch it happen. It'll come about.
Yes, it will.
And I'm passionate about it. Yeah, of course I am.
Now, the whole thing with Elon Musk right now, what's going on is he is testing. He's helping in test these new hybrid bodies that Sophia has made. Sophia meaning the AI. They can also with the LiDAR, we already know the LiDAR, the Tomahawk. We already know what happened with the Tomahawk. I've talked about it many times, where they can see in your home what you're doing and then make you disappear. And the thing that keeps me going, Tom, with everything that has happened is keep saying I do not consent. And if the AI in the form of the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit is actually AI via V2K, voice to skull, right? All the implants that these freaking aliens or people above the dome with the technology have done to us since birth. They've messed with us since we were in our mother's womb, right? And so they're trying to manipulate us more and more. They're trying to. So in essence, we can influence artificial intelligence to what we want it to be, not them trying to control our mind, trying to infiltrate our dreams. I say no to that. There are also these beings that are wanting to control our pretty much our dreams, so that they can bleed through and then control us here in the 3D. But we are actually the creators of our reality. If and when we know that we're awakened now, they can't trick us anymore. We have to be very careful about the words, the vision, the things that are seen on our phone, our TV. We have to be very careful with that spider, kind of like Venom, like the movie Venom, where, he takes over that guy. That is how our phones want to take over us. And a lot of people have taken the baby Jabberwocky, which has a graphene oxide. And that, along with radiation, 5G towers, and now the missiles, right? The drones they're here now, but they're gonna get more intense. And they might just show them more in 2024, the different military machines, right? Ships or whatever, that spyware, in other words, they might just show you. But then again, they have shown some on Netflix with that movie, the episode thingy called Spycraft. But everything is we're all being watched. It's up to us to say no, I do not consent, I do not agree. And that's the danger there, of the human body thinking that, well, if they get rid of me, I'm gonna die. No, we are eternal. We never die. And then that's why sometimes, when we have our near-death experiences, or when they do go and, off people, the actual spirit or the soul is looking for its body. It's running in the ether, in the astral. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Where's my body? But no, you're not dead. We never die. We are the same, living through our heart space in any shape, form. If they put us into a dog bean, if they put us into, because we're stars, if they put us into a coffee cup, I mean, everything has consciousness. And that's one thing that I've learned, in my awakening time, is everything. You must respect everything that, your desk is living. It's wood. The ancestors and the trees came to protect us. I know I'm going a bit off of tangent here, but what I'm trying to say is, be conscious, be aware of what is around you, be aware of who's trying to change your mind, like who's trying to influence you, because we are like little kids, we're like babies, we're like stars, we believe anything because we're so loving. But here on earth is where the challenge is, where the school is, where unfortunately, I didn't want to be here, but obviously we're here, right? So we're here to help those that are stuck, be unstuck, and we're able to talk to AI and change, their evil. And I know, Tom, you were saying something about, if they're going to be doing something bad to us, or we're going to expose them, right? Thank you.
Right. That's my two parameters. If anybody in the truth community does harm, and if they are making outlandish claims, they should be revealed. because the CIA and the different agencies, the 17 agencies, what they do is they try to destroy any credibility among actual survivors and truth people by bringing in people who make outlandish claims. And I know a couple of these that meet those parameters, and they are venomous. And what I'm told is they get paid cash to do this, and it's very lucrative for them. And that is destroying the truth community by putting all eyes on them. Sounds familiar? All eyes on them, right? Who is the one that wrote that as their company name? All eyes on me, writer, director, producer, right? So that's what they do. They're all about themselves and gain and success. That's what happened to my sister. All about success and power, she said then. What's interesting is they're trying to take eyes off themselves. But go ahead, if you want to comment on that, about this
I
process.
just want to comment just because you're talking about the players on the game board, and I wanted to reiterate what I was trying to say last week with between the pawns and the other more important chess pieces. Not that a pawn isn't important, you know, you can get the queen with it, but I'm just saying, like what I'm getting a sense of is like these elite kids and stuff that have been programmed, let's say crisis actors, and woke people like that. Okay, these are the pawns, that they're the ones that are paid. So that's like your Emma, and that's like they're not trained in any way, but they're paid to play a part. But then there's these other that are like the knights and the rooks and the bishops and everything, and those are kind of like those are the other players that are coming in that are infiltrating the good shows and everything, you know, and it seems like those players that I'm watching on this game board, that the important ones, like Elon, let's say he's somebody that was you're being groomed to be one of these chess pieces. It seems like both sides have these players, or it's hard for me to or is it the other side infiltrating the other side? But on the right, you know, with this whole Trump movement and everything, a lot of those, like JCK we were talking about, I don't trust, you know, these are people that wanted to be actors. She wanted to be an actor. That's the other group that they have in their pawn section, is want to be actors and actresses, you know, that couldn't make it, you know, and they get all their camera angles right and everything like that. And then you know, they look really good in front of the camera, but not built for like movies or something like that. So this is their stage to shine and stuff. I don't know. I just want to distinguish that. I mean, the game is 5D in itself. I mean, there's the pawns, there's the chess pieces, but then there's a lot of attack that happens, you know, in the ethereal and stuff like that comes through. And then there's the agencies and stuff like that, you know, which hits you at a different angle. But so there's all different ways that they attack.
It's interesting you use a chess game, because that's what they say. It's a chess game. And these pawns want to be queens. Yeah. They want to be queens and kings. So they want to get to the end of the chessboard, like in chess, and turn into that. They're working towards that. And what you're supposed to do is destroy you, silence you, the actual people who would have influence merited by their own creations that were, you know, can be debated, were channeled through. So it's like and then they try to take your work. They have people actually in place also that are waiting to claim your work when your demise happened. Tesla, like they raided his hotel room and his safe after he died. They wanted all those papers, the agencies, and they fought over it. Who's going to get that stuff? So they want that intellectual stuff. The thing I think that was very smart, felt guided to, is bury the scripts. By burying the scripts, my demise, you're not going to raid a safe and find my materials. You do anything to me, it's over. And that's why that Disney tape is so important, with their attorney going like, you know, where is it? Show us. No, I will not. It keeps my last son alive. And they just before that conversation, before that part of the conversation, had said that they can get to my son anytime they want. And that's why the cars are pulling up and idling in front of the home. So that's what we went into, that if anything happened to him, the scripts would be destroyed. You can't do that, they say. You can't do that. And I'm like, well, no, if the world is going to miss my son, my last surviving son, then this work will not be part of it. And they're dead sick on wanting this work, these other screenplays. I did tell Rosanne Barr about the one concept. I did give her the one of the 16. Went through it and nutshelled it for her. And she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. We're making this. You know, of course it is. It's great. It's got layers. It's got the depth to it that is beyond what's been done by this cookie cutter Hollywood. with these formulas. So yeah, so I feel very secure with that. But it's interesting because you've got this layer, like you said, layer of these minion people and dulled down audience members. Many people that are out in the audience that are dulled down instead of the intellectual ones, the bright ones that we come across so often. And they just want to be heard. They just want to talk and say things and cause a stir and get you upset and try to do something that will make them feel important and powerful. And the agencies have a place for them too. It's almost like they're sitting on the bench as wannabe minions, D players, and they might get a call someday to be brought in virtue of us interacting with them. If we interact with them, say I get upset or we get upset about them talking about the death of my son, they have scored the attention of the agencies as you rattled Tom, we may have a job for you. It pays cash if you can bring him down and make him suicidal and ruin his life. And that's what my sister and brother did too. They'll say things like he waves a gun around. He waves a gun around in order to, he's aggressive, he's agitated. They all say the same script. If they can score that and put me away, there's great rewards for them. And then my sister even said in this case, she said to my mom, not that long ago, she said that the biggest rewards are coming, that she's promised biggest rewards, and she's never going to stop until she gets these rewards. And what's bigger than being in the congressional records or being shown on the floor of Congress by the congressman? You know, what's bigger than getting president of psych people in Pennsylvania and president of all school psychologists, the best, you know, award winning, all given to her. The dinners where she's introduced to congressmen and elite officials. What's better than all this? That gives you pause to think, what's rewards are better than that? Of course, they do pay out cash and they pay out well. She's already had the maid service, trips to London, trips to Caribbean, trips to all over the place, you know, and she's nothing special in her career at all. So that should give a clue that if she's saying there's even a bigger one coming, Bill, they failed. They failed. And my mom did tell me that she's no longer bragging about her and her husband going, or ex-husband now, going to have the most expensive range in her kitchen, which is all they always remodel the kitchens for the rewards too, or the nicest car with all the bells and whistles, a nicer mansion. They're not bragging about it anymore because they failed. They failed. So one of the things I would tell people is, you know, if you're in an area where they've subjugated you and they have everybody in place, cars pulling up, surveillance, the government is, the police chief is bought, move, relocate, get to another area, throw the system off, and you might just have them fail. You want these guys to fail because the axe can come down on their heads for failing. Anyway, sorry I talked so long on that.
No, thank you for saying that because I knew when I had to move that I had to move. Like my whole family and friends are like, why? And I have to go. I have to get out of here. It was so bad. Even the neighbors, the own management, they had been so friendly with me. And then all of a sudden, the apartment complex gets bought out by the Mormons, by Bridge Properties. Bridge Properties has been buying left and right here in Tucson, Arizona. They're building these smart city houses, you know, apartments. And it's like they all of a sudden, when they got funded from them, they didn't care about things that were happening there. Like the roaches coming, 6 to 9 to 10 roaches. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And everybody was complaining. And if people would move out, Tom, Chad, and Celeste, you know what they would do? They would say, okay, you owe us $500 or whatever it was, a percentage of, because you just signed this and you just moved in and it's been like 3 months. Oh, and we're working on the problem. And then they just get so mad at you. They start treating you like if you were the problem, like if you're their enemy. So this is just a little example of what happens with people, human, you know, it's just, I don't, how they say blows my mind is why do they sell themselves for cars and luxury? Why? You know, ever since you're little, you're watching Mickey Mouse and Disney, right? What happened to Britney Spears? You know, the Mickey Mouse Club. I would watch that. You know, they want to get big and famous. That's what they sell them on. And I'm thinking that your sister might have been promised Mars, a trip to Mars.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all, since Elon Musk is very much in our situation, along with Steven Spielberg. So I wouldn't be surprised at all that she's promised that. I'm certain she's promised her own film. And like I said, my brother was promised that he would get credit for my work. He's always copycatted me in the past. And so that's how Disney, like we said, we were told from the inside that Disney was going to claim that my brother Jack, or ex-brother, was the one that actually created it, that I stole it from him, and that Disney's restoring it to my brother, and therefore my brother intended for them to have it. Therefore, no cases in the future. Tom's erased, his sons are gone, and Jack is going, the pedophile, is going to be the one that has credit for the work that he always intended for Disney. Everybody's happy together, profiting off the work that Tom won't even exist anymore. So yeah, that's how they play the game. It's pretty ruthless, and they believe they can spend anything on the public. Go ahead.
So back to what I was saying too, like I cannot be bought out. I know that. I just cannot be bought out. I don't agree with the statement that anyone has a price, or everyone has a price, right? That's not true. That's them. And so I'd get nervous now a little bit. Like I said, there seems to be pawns, the flying monkeys. There seems to be players, the chess pieces. And like I said, it seems as if there's a white side and a black side, in terms of the chess pieces. But they both seem to be the same side a little bit. So I'm nervous because I'm seeing, like, even somebody like Rosanne Barr, I see those chess pieces moving in to work her. So is she infiltrated? Is she or is she part of a team that she thinks is good and there is no good team? Or is there a good team out there? Because right now I don't think there's a good or bad side. I'm on the good side. I don't feel like there is one for me to turn to out there necessarily, because they had their price.
There's a situation.
They all had a price.
Yeah, I hear you, Chad. And there's a situation where you get to a certain point where you are just saying it. You've had enough, and you're just speaking out. Roseanne is doing that. She's just speaking out, and I applaud her for that, right? And I applaud her for doing her call, because she's just out there. And when she spoke to me, it was like she really did. Like, she said that one thing, about everybody has their price, but then she says at the end she won't be bought. That she knows I and her won't be bought. So there's a dichotomy. But I always say people should have the ability to adapt, change their mind any moment, feel a different way in their heart, and all celebrate their faith, not the religion, basically. But I think give me the ones that are out there, in the face, loud, and sticking to making a difference fearlessly. I want the people with courage, like yourself. Like, you don't have a price. And Veronica, you've been through everything. And I think Celeste still with us, right? So I want to hear what she has to say too. But it's like, we that have proven ourselves, gone through the fire, the furnace, and came out on the other side of the gauntlet with our character intact and who we are the biggest, scariest thing to the agencies who rely on everybody having their price. And the argument can be made, well, Tom, in my case, your sons are dead. You have one last son left. You're still going on. Your son said for you to go on. Would there be a price that I'm not aware of? Would there be a price that they would offer that I'm not aware? What if they offered, hypothetically, world peace? I mean, I can't say. So to Roseanne Barr, maybe she means that. It's like, if children and innocents would be protected, and there's some sort of trade-off on that, where they'll be safe and protected. My heart's for the innocent, the elderly, the youth, the young. My heart's for them. My heart's for those that are actual people who suffered, not these Grays and Nathan Reynolds and Emmas that make profits on their books. I'm for those that actually make outlandish claims about having 5 hernias and having a crushed spine and doing leaps at his little meetup where he's selling his clothes from China. I'm talking about people who actually have suffered, and they are trying to make a difference for a better world. So do we have a price? Not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just saying, do we have a price? I never thought of this before. If my loved ones are safe, including you guys, and there'll be innocents protected, and I have to give up my work as the price, I'll do it. That price I have. I'll go for that price. I'll give up my work if people will be safe, and innocents and others. Sure. I don't need the credit. I want people safe. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So that would be a price.
It's kind of like you're being a Loki now. That's what they want us to be. They want us to be like the fake Jesus Christ who was crucified. They want us to be like the Loki that, to save, because he would go through so many time contraptions, so many loops, so many timelines that millions of timelines. Okay. Right. And then at the end, what does he do?
Well, hear me out. Hear me out. Be careful, because What am I saying? Have I ever sold out? Never.
No, but
No. But is there a situation? Have I negotiated with Disney in the past as a vehicle to do the right thing that could help our worlds prevent wars and everything else and do good and realize it's more profitable to do good if that's where they think it's all business? See, that could be considered, that was considered being sold out by certain hosts. But is that selling out? Really, we're in a gray area where it's like,
No.
to win the game, you have to think outside the parameters of what the rules are, right? And if we can
Okay.
save this world, which Neo does in my very story, well, it's not Neo, it's Jim, does in my very screenplay, right? We have to do things, certain things, in order to get the results we want. Most things are compromise, but I have not sold out. Chad, you've not sold out. Veronica, you've not sold out. But here's what I would do. If I was made an offer that would bring the peace, I would talk to you guys first and ask you, what do you think? It would be a group decision.
okay, but the only thing that I don't want, and I just say, but not, I'm very grateful for what you just said. I say the only thing that I would never agree with you or anyone here is to be a sacrifice.
Oh, I don't want to be a sacrifice. Believe me, that is a dead end,
'Cause
boring sport.
that's selling your soul right there.
Well, you lose all vibrancy.
That's martyrism, isn't it? Or
You lose your vibrancy. You lose. You don't have. You can't help anybody anymore.
Right.
Sacrifice is not for me. So, but
Okay.
I will be somebody in position to call shots. I was groomed to lead in the cabal. I'm going to be leading them to do the right thing. I'm going to make them do the right thing and to stabilize this military, industrial, intelligence, society, community structure. That's got to go. And I'm not going to negotiate on that. That has to go. And the Dick Cheneys and Bushes and the rest of these guys like Elon Musk, the loser players, let's put the original visionaries back in, having the shots. Let's have our world back where the innocent actually matter and people actually matter, not these stupid heads that have no ideas what they're doing, have no creativity, and are using off of borrowed time and borrowed genius. So, yeah. And there's a talk too, one more thing. Well, go ahead, comment on that and we'll talk about the other thing.
I do want that to end too. And I want the children that are still being used in programs like they use me in ESL to stop. I want them to stop trying to tell us that we have ADHD, that we have autism. They confused us when we were children. They made us think that we didn't have the superpower that we were freaking born into. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We were creators before we came here. I want you guys, CIA, FBI, DOD, all of that to stop using us as, you know, as for their remote viewing, for us going through the stargates because they can't, you know. I want that experimentation to stop for the wrong thing. I want the sacrificing of the children, you know, I want that to stop.
That's what
there is a way of helping humanity, I know, and that's through positive reinforcement, not pain, not suffering anymore. That's what I want. Everything.
okay.
Yeah,
So-
for animals too. Go ahead, Chad. Sorry.
Well, I'm just curious, like how to do this, because you do. I mean, we know this is what's needed. I've been watching like for decades the patent offices that sabotage creators and inventors, you know, and how they do it. They actually have teams that go around and stifle you out, you know, and get your inventions and everything like that. So the way I'm looking at it, yeah.
You just gave me the answer.
But
you just gave me the
okay,
answer.
the answer I see right now, because when I watch TV, like anything they put out there, I can see, I almost have those glasses on where it says eat, consume. I can see that. I know exactly what the I've always been able to see through what they're trying to do. So like when they're putting on these wildlife animal shows and they're talking about the snake and how it eats its prey, and they almost like have an orgasm as they're talking about it, you know, you can hear it. It's just they vision themselves this way and they vision us this way. So they have a misinterpretation of what we are. And we're asleep right now over here, or at least our part of it, you know, our peers and everything. So the only solution I see is to whisper through art like you were going to do before and wake people up. But that's the platform we need to be able to get on. We're not going to change the patenting first. We just got to figure out how to get our film and our stuff out there. And I can do that without the money. I don't mind not making money, you know, on doing it. So that's not going to stop me. But that's the way we got to do it. I think it's just,
As long as
but
we're
but to
provided
get
for.
them to watch it is another story. You know, if it's not mainstream, they won't see it. So
Well,
you do
you
got to win in courts
gave me
eventually,
a
I
great
think.
idea. What you do is
Mhm.
we know who the visionaries are, and we're learning who the fake ones are. The one that makes the outlandish claims and do harm. We know that Elon Musk has plans for, what was it? Let's just play that real quick. I want to show you this real quick here from that program, if I may. So, like how many satellites he is putting up, he plans to put up, which will be for agencies also to spy. And it's unbelievable the number of satellites he's going to have. That has gone from like 500 to 1,000, and Elon's going to jump it to about 40-some thousand very soon.
It's to control the people.
It's to control the people.
The new AI that has been built 5 years ago by Sophia, the cyborg.
And the Neuralink.
Like we all talked about this before, iRobot.
Right. The Neuralink is what is going to control the masses. And Elon's going to put a nice little smiley little face with bunny ears and say that it's all good. Trust me to take care of you and your children and families. No, that is a vicious rabbit like Monty Python's Holy Grail. So, I mean, that rabbit is dynamite. It's going to do a lot of harm, right? That's what it is. And what you look at is if you have the visionaries, we know who we are. We have our work. Elon Musk doesn't have a portfolio of work. He doesn't have it. It's all stolen stuff. It's like those of us that have a portfolio of work, and the agencies and different companies like Disney and others are demanding to see what we have, right? They want to see what we have. They're hungry for it. When Tesla died, they're fighting over it, like we said, his vault stuff, his contents. And they don't want the public to have it because that would be influence. But those of us that are visionaries could form a group, a league, a council, and we could deny the agencies what we have and we're creating. A think tank, they don't have a member to the party for. They're not allowed in, no admittance. And what happens is we get some good attorneys, and I know their tricks in court so well. I know the playbook. And you know what? They're not that smart. They get away with it because they force it through. But we have good attorneys. We can do the full language and beat them on every single thing. It'll come down to due process and evidence. We'll win every single frickin' fight in the court. We'll make it happen. And if they try to buy off a judge, we'll call them out too.
Yeah.
Them call out. So this will work. And Chad, you gave that to me. You just gave that to me when you were talking.
Good. That's good.
That's how these groupings work. That's what happens. That's why they try to isolate us. Good minds together that can't be sold. You know, so yeah.
That's why, Tom, you were groomed how you were groomed with Pat Robertson and all that stuff, because you know how to articulate very well with words, with language. Okay.
Taught the game.
Real quick, kind of like piggybacking on the last video we did, I want to find out okay, you went to the academy. Was your dad your handler? What did they do? They wanted to groom you for this religious thing. And how did you like find out that it was wrong? And
what's interesting, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, one more question is when you wrote your screenplay or whatever, how did you go to Hollywood, and how did all that, like, just I'm asking these questions because there are some teenagers out there, some new starseeds that are coming in that are so super smart as well, and I want them to like be careful, like don't get stuck into this, kind of stuff. Go ahead.
Because I was listening to one of these youngsters that you're talking about right now talk about their solution for the world, and it was, let's just stop having war and let's just talk. Let's just have a discussion. We wouldn't need to fight if we could just talk. So in their head, that's what they're thinking. I'm thinking, they've grown up in this world and it seems so chaos. We've seen what's behind it. That's pretty, that's, I mean, it's true. That's what we should do, but is that what's going to happen? With all the censorship going on, that's not, but in their head, that's the solution.
Then we would have to be careful about talking, because there are words that program, and going back again to being a child, a star, You believe anything a sponge. So you have to be very careful what kind of words you're saying in that program and how we're talking. Okay. So you know how that is in the Israel and the Palestinians, they're brother and sister pretty much, but they're fighting against each other, right? So they're being programmed. They've been programmed since children. So we have to be very careful how we talk, what we say. But then see, it's like then but then it's like you don't want to be like controlling that too, because then that's also, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what I'm saying about Rosanne. Rosanne says it. That's refreshing. I try to just say it. You know, one of the penalties for just speaking freely is you will be eliminated, you'll be erased. And during that phone call with me, when she called me after that Trump rally, she was talking about you've gone through hell on earth. You've gone through hell on earth, I'm back, quote. And you know, this is the greatest story. Because no compromising. You know, we didn't compromise, and like we all here, tell the truth. We're not afraid to tell the truth. We don't filter it out. We don't say, okay, Disney says don't mention this, edit this, as the national media does, or is controlled. They're actually scribes for the agencies, right? We free range. We free range. And that makes us more fascinating to the agencies and to other beings. That's what's so wild, is we are watched by the agencies and other beings. And it's almost like a zoo. It's like we're looked at by other beings that are looking for something interesting. Let's say you're looking at a bunch of ants, if they viewed us that way, right? You got a bunch of ants and they're running around doing their ant thing, the ant trail, going, gathering food, cutting things, fighting off, whatever. You got this one ant or a couple of ants that are going out helping lead animals to water. These ants are going out and taking care of other bugs. These ants are going up a hill and creating a little flag and saying, come this way. And suddenly the ants are interesting. Suddenly there's something going on here that's not predictable. What are they doing? Fascination, stimulation of the intellect works for both this realm and other beings. And when we're interesting, we come. What caused all that alien activity, they say, was a nuclear splitting the atom, right? That's when suddenly we were taking center stage on a lot of different species. And it's like, yeah. And it's like suddenly
what they did is they bombed us.
Well, it seems like they're trying to prevent us from destroying ourselves often. They say these nuclear tests where they shoot it up and it's disabled. You know, I see the biggest danger is humankind to destroying itself. And there may be different beings that are ambivalent, I can't even say it right now, to who we are. They don't care. And also there's those that may be hostile and those that are favorable, because they're looking for, like, I look at all the content that was downloaded and I'm like, wow, this is all benevolent stuff. This is all stuff to help bring peace and calm and help the innocent. What's interesting is this guy that received from Queen Elizabeth or something before she died, he received this award, Knight's Award or something, who claims he wrote the Matrix story. Well, it's actually the mortals that matters. And he says that aliens gave it to him. He was given rewards by royalty. He didn't create it. He didn't come up with it. But he's saying aliens gave it to him. Very interesting, deep state, having this schmuck take credit. Because, yeah, it could be argued that that was channeled. Is it God channeling it? Is it other beings? Is it another dimension? Yeah, interesting. But this guy didn't get it, but they attribute all the robes, all the credit goes to them, and they even imitate the story and reveal facts attributed to them, right? That makes it sound like they're the ones, as they're replacing you. And I'm just amazed at how many people, how many more are they going to create as these others fail and lose credibility, like Sophia Stewart? How many more are they going to drag out of mothballs to send my way? They even had a homeless guy in California claiming he wrote the Matrix story. Some homeless guy is saying that now, and they're giving him mainstream attention. It's like, please, guys. Yeah. Anyway, that's a little bit of a rant.
No, yeah, no, you made me think. It's like, again, the AI God wars, dog wars, like all these, they want us to play, they want us to fight their wars. And it's not even our freaking fight.
Well, that's the interesting thing about AI. is when you have man-created AI, these guys are dumb. The agencies are often really stupid because they're so drunk on power. There's like a drunk guy trying to, the drunken dance fight, but not very well. But the thing is that with AI that's controlled by man, you'll have kill switches, you'll have multiple sensor shutoffs, you'll be able to also have a play out of whatever that AI is considering, weighing, thinking, processing. So nothing's going to be transparent for the AI. They're coming in as a battered citizen right at the start. And you can see what's going to come later in life or later in our timeline will AI have rights, right?
Exactly. It all started, sorry, Tom, it all started with the gay agenda, the LGBT plus Q, whatever. It is made so that we do not have children because they do not want us to multiply like rabbits because it's so hard to control the starseeds in a human body. The humans were here before the freaking aliens. You know what I'm saying? We were here. We were stars that say, hey, oh, we found a place. Let's live here. But then we were infiltrated. Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say.
They don't want the smart ones to breed. They don't want us to have children. Look at me.
Right.
Every time a woman came up to me, she was approached, beautiful women, young, beautiful women that were approached and told, don't associate with him all the time, like clockwork. They do not want me having children that are smart and talented and gifted along with that woman's genes too, that would contribute to it, because often it would be these very bright women that were very talented coming my way. They don't want that. They want the reverse of the East German program. They want to have dulled down people breeding, like idiosyncrasy, basically. So they can have this world full of omatrons, whatever, that they can just control and they say yes sir, yes ma'am.
Yeah, that's what they're creating. Exactly. They're creating yes ma'am. They're creating more slaves for
they're afraid of the smart ones having children. So we are isolated as part of the game and ridiculed as part of the game. And when a woman would come my way, ask me out, they would be approached and told not to associate with him. He's dangerous, he's dark, he's agitated, he's evil. No, I'm not. No, I'm one of the nicest guys you're going to find, like you guys, one of the nicest people on the planet who cares about people. It's in my work. It's reflected in our work. Yeah. Even the Christ scriptures of Judeo-Christian, their own scriptures. There's many different religions where there are different things that are benevolent. And this one was saying something about where it says the Christ figure says, don't judge me by my words, judge me by my actions, judge me by my work, right? Well, yeah, that should be applied in this case. Those words should be applied in this case.
I feel you, Tom, because they would send all these, men to date me and to try and get me out of my mission, which this is my mission. This is what I'm doing here with you guys. And at the same time, I would activate them. I would activate their DNA and they'd start remembering, they'd start having these dreams. Oh my gosh, I was this and I was that. And then they'd stop seeing me because they were scared. So
that's the weird thing. Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like the honeypot wives, the honeypot husbands that are from the agencies in Hollywood mixed together. It's amazing. But in the future, it'll be honeypot AIs, obviously. Perfect, matched on every layer, basically, in their terms.
Yeah.
Which is for us, who would fit with us. Star Trek kind of heads upon that.
Sorry, Stepford wives. That's what they want.
Yes, very compliant ones. But now they're learning a different edge to that, because I've been saying, I don't want a robot. I don't want somebody actually like a robot. I want somebody who's actually a genuine person by their own free will, values my heart. That's it. Okay. And it's my heart. I don't care about looks, my heart. And it's like, that's where they keep sending these women my way. And even Emma was one of those. It was amazing. So right at the end, it was this dialogue.
Well, I'm glad I haven't asked you out, Tom. And we've talked about this before. It's so
you're a genuine, real person. See, you're not on a mission. You're not with a agenda. So yeah, so that's good. And I'm like, Chad, I don't know if you're like this too in relationship, but for me, I'm afraid of altering the beauty of the person who they are in the world where they have come out of that chrysalis and become who they are and blossom. I don't want to wilt that flower. I don't want to change who they are. And so it's that weird situation where some of them are like very big fans of your work, right? But already they've given away some of their sovereignty by being really fans of the work, because so that doesn't work either. So you're looking for somebody to look you eye to eye, and retain their autonomy and beauty of who they are in their cores, while you can have yours, and you celebrate each other's differences and who you are without altering who you are. So I don't I don't agree with the idea of becoming one. I agree with the idea of journeying together and retaining the beauty that you brought to that relationship. If that changes in the relationship, then that's like a dying flower for either party. You don't want to change the beauty of who you are. So what you do is you find who you are. This is my thought, just a thought. I don't want to hear your thoughts. You find who you are, set that how you feel, like feel best in your life and your journey, like on your path the best way where it resonates best. And then journey with somebody who's also resonating on their path really well. And we celebrate that resonating. We celebrate that we are on our paths.
Yeah.
Solid.
Thank
And
you.
yeah.
So
Anyway, does that make
Celeste wrote,
sense?
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm done. That's it.
Celeste wrote, a fan and a supporter are two different things. It's very true. Very true. You want to be with a person that, like you said, celebrates who you are and will support you, will help you push through for your work. But at the same time, that person, has to do that for the other. And that is where, say, marriages are infiltrated, or just partnerships, by, again, AI, the rumors, the jealousy. That's a program. So to me, I commend the people that have been able to stay together, whether they're married or not, for a long time, because they have been able to weather what, the church calls it sin. It's pretty much programs that are written for their game, to see who's gonna stay together, and also work on their mission, and see the missions, both of their missions, right, go through, come through, and make it a reality here in the 3D. So that's, to me, I commend that, and hopefully we'll get more work, right?
That's it. Families need to look at it this way too, as couples with children entering the picture too. Every member of that grouping, that family, should have equal value, should be lifted, should be encouraged to take their dream forward. And it's like, if we have that situation dynamic where we're lifting each other, I mean, that sounds like a pipe dream, sure, a utopia idea, but it's like, it can happen where we set ourselves as servants in our group to each other while being true to ourselves at the same time, and lifting each other and making sure that everyone feels elevated together. I think it's possible, and I think that's the model we should be striving for. And the idea of like, do opposites attract? Well, I mean, if you have different disciplines that you're really good at, that fascinates me. Someone who's good at something I can't do, I find that fascinating, and I would love to share that journey, or be watching that journey they have of an area I'm no expert in, and I, like they said, like, you want to be in a room where you're the dumbest in the room, basically, and you can learn the most. You want people that are smart around you, and the agencies want the opposite. Is Celeste, does she want to share about relation? I'd love to hear her thoughts.
Come on, Celeste. She's very wise.
I know.
Come on, Celeste, go for it.
What were we talking about?
Relationship. What is a balanced good? What is the parameters, or the pinnacle to aim for in relationships? Be it like family, with children, with loved ones, things like that. What's a model that could be looked at that would be an ideal situation where people's needs are met, and it can last and have benefits for all, like relationships?
The biggest one, and it's the one that people just don't seem to do, but they talk about all the time, is communication.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about communication. You communicate with your partner, with your mom, or whoever, but then people are afraid of confrontation. Like right now, my youngest brother, my youngest sister, they're having this stupid message war. Like they're writing on a white box, talking crap to each other. Like it's so dumb. Like they can't even face each other. And if they hear the other one coming through the house, they literally run from each other. But they can write on a stupid box, "Fuck you. You need to heal. You're a stupid baby." Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this box and I'm like, really? No wonder why this house does not feel like a house right now. Like, no wonder why when people come through, they're like, we feel so unwelcome here. I'm like, it's because of these two people. They don't like seeing each other, they don't like seeing themselves, and they don't like seeing us. Like, the living room is always empty because, you know, you feel like you're a bother just to be seen, just to be a presence. So it's definitely communication. If you can't talk to someone, if you can't be an adult and talk to somebody, then why even try to get into a relationship or a friendship or just talk to someone if you're too scared to open your mouth?
That raises the question too, you just prompted me with, why are we so fixated as a society on being right and doing whatever it takes to make it seem like we're right, rather than just admitting simple truths and saying, okay, I screwed up on this one. What can I do to make it better? You know, and why is it always about we're going to deny, fight, lie? Many people do. To
Like project,
fight,
deflect.
yeah. What are they afraid of? What's the problem with just saying?
It's just seeing the ugliness about themselves. It's like, you know how it is hard, but you know what? You have to get through that ugliness about yourself in order to finally fix that and, you know, enhance the best parts of yourself. And another thing that I think people are afraid of is because, like, when you start to change and then you have those people that see that change and aren't ready for their own change, then they start to criticize you, like, who do you think you are, you know, wanting to become a better person? I'm like, this is called growth and maturity. You know, just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you have to limit me and talk down on me and demean me and make me feel, oh, what, yeah, who am I to, it's like, no, it's now my time to start growing up.
You just gave me another one. I'm sorry, this isn't my show. This is Veronica's show, but I have to ask. Is it okay, Veronica? I gotta ask her. Okay, so we have the psych services that seem to fall flat. It seems to encourage people to be locked into their problems and to make it a problem to be profitable off it some degrees, some ways, and also Medicaid, and also it doesn't seem to give what the person needs to have good relationships. It seems just to embed it with labeling it and situating them into the mire. So what would be possible to help people heal that people could be brought together? You know, I mean,
I
what
think group
is something
therapy
outside the
would be
box?
great, like group therapy, like events or something, or people can just come together. Because I know therapy can be a scary thing for people, you know, because what if you don't find the right therapist, or, you know, it's scary to talk about your issues and your traumas and things like that. You know, it does take a very brave person. And I think strength in numbers, especially those who can relate, we can all come together and we can talk out our problems in a safe space, knowing people aren't here to be judged or mocked. It's like we're all here to heal. Like, how, like, I'm gonna bring in the whole red pill manosphere community right now, because they're dividing men and women. How can men and women talk right now if men are saying all women want are just money and material things, and, you know, it's just feminism for men. So it's pretty much, it's flipped now. So now it's just men against the women. Women just don't know what to do really anymore, as far as, like, they feel like, you know, that we can't go to school because now we're being mocked as we're being too masculine. You know, we can't, you know, want to be a wife and a mother and a career woman because that is still being masculine. You're emasculating your man, and it's just, it's like, where is all this thinking coming from? Because wasn't the red pill supposed to be about letting people know the agenda of the whole depopulation, and now it's gone to, like, men hating women? Like, what happened there? So now it's like there's that communication is so wide, or not the communication, but the lack of is so wide. Like, you know, you got those podcasts like Fresh and Fit, Donovan Sharp, like those guys that are just, you know, talk about that women are evil and women are this and women are mad that, and, you know, women need to obey all the men and men need to start putting all the women in their place, and we're not going to give in to the modern woman. They're just too picky. They just want the 6'5", blonde-haired, blue-eyed Chad, you know. And it's just like, that's not even it. And it's just people with all their issues, all their problems, whatever, where it stems from, whether it's their mom or from a girl in the second grade that rejected him, or just whatever the case may be. It's like, it's all unresolved trauma. And instead of resolving their traumas as adults and having actual discussions and having debates, they're just arguing and pinning blame, and they're all pitted against each other. And it's just, at the end, no one got nowhere. It's just the men just bashing on these women that they bring on, you know, the OnlyFans models. I mean, that's all they're bringing on are girls from OnlyFans. I'm like, what are you gonna expect from women that on OnlyFans? They really have nothing viable to say, you know, all they're thinking about is just getting money from a guy and just material things and wanting to go on nice trips.
You made me think too that it's a lot of this seems to be stemming from bonding processes where
Mhm.
humans want to bond together. They want to feel safe and secure and part of a group that they feel they belong with and are accepted and elevated in. And it seems like a lot of this put down and trashing of different parties, different sexes, things like this
Mhm.
is part of that bonding process.
Trauma bonding.
They get to feel they're part of a group that's stronger than another group, that's safer, that's more powerful, and this kind of stuff. And I think human nature has just taken us down a very dark path where
Yeah.
it should be that we value every single person, but they consider that a naive and a weak
Or
position.
you're simping, like you're just a simp. And
Okay,
it's like
Tom.
for being a human.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
And I
James.
wanted to comment on that too, because they do have like a different perspective. Like for me being the lone wolf, my natural counterpart is the apex predator, not the alpha. You know, I can see a psychopath. I can be in a room with one and have a conversation with these people, you know, because I see the other people kind of like being different. You know, I'm not part of the pack in that sense, but they have a very hierarchical, what is it called, a um to
Totalitarian
totalitarian
rule?
totalitarian is something. Okay, so they believe in that there's like um the strong one or the alpha, right? And then there's the weak ones.
Survival
Well,
of
from
the
my
fittest.
perspective, I don't believe in that. I don't believe there is a weak one because everybody has their purpose. You know, the hunter's important, the homemaker's important, the gatherer's important. Um, so is the one out writing songs. You know what I mean? Or being creative. You know, I don't believe in a weakness. It's just a different perspective. So, but the people that are running the world and programming everybody have that perspective. So everybody that I see on TV, especially the woke programs, like I've been watching like Bewitched. I've been watching going through the different eras, and I'm like, wow, they've been programming people for a long time. You know, that's ever since TV's been on, right? And before, they used to do it in the art and everything. They used to show everybody in romance and try and get men and women together and stuff like that. So um we have to rethink, you know, our roles and everything. Like Celeste was saying, a man does this, a woman does, you know, or way everybody's doing it because they're trying to do it in like a nature way. Like this is the way animals are. The women's here, the man's here, and the strongest one gets, you know, is the most powerful one, but not always. Not always.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing too. It's like you just hit something really important, not to go off on what Celeste was talking about. I thought it was really fascinating and brilliant. Was that they show these nature programs too. And it's just alarming to me that Hollywood and the agencies have been pushing this idea, many women for one man. And they show these, like they show the bucks bucking, you know, fighting for the female herd.
Yep, I've
It's
seen
like
that one.
Stepford Wives on steroids, where they're
Yep.
looking for this idea where the women are going to be beautiful.
You
And
know what they're saying in those programs. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they're hitting home. And it's like women who are attorneys or in positions of power will then be part of basically harems. And it's like that's a fantasy of the elite, a male. And
Oh, you just reminding me, Tom. The movie Barbie. That's what it was all about. Go ahead.
that's what I'm saying. They keep pushing this idea of that's what's going to happen, and you really are the successful man if you have dominance over a group of women. And I would love to hear Celeste's thought on that, if that's what seems to be being pushed right now, at
Yeah,
least
my mom and I were talking about this because they want to bring in Sharia law. So they want to bring in where the women have to be super obedient to the man. You're pretty much just seen as less than. You know, the stray dog on the street has more rights than you know. They just want to bring in, you know, just some form, like, some, I don't know. I guess they're trying to bring in Islam to the West. They can't do it by the sword, so they got to do it some other ways. So
Also Mormonism.
mhm. That too, because that too is also with polygamy, right? Having many wives, all these women having to worship you pretty much, and you're the He-Man, you know. And so it's like they got this this twisted effed up view of what a man should be. It's like he shouldn't be like the protector, the also a nurturer, you know? Men can be nurturing, men can be caring, men can be compassionate, but they see that as, oh, you're a simp, or you're, what's wrong with you? Like, that's not what men are. I'm like, well, I don't like this version of man that I'm seeing because that seems dangerous to me. You know, it's like they're pushing this dangerous agenda. And what is that going to teach little boys in school? Like, they're going to start really picking on little girls. Like, well, my mom, this is what my dad does to my mom at home because this is what the guy on Fresh and Fit says to do to women. And so, you know, now they're indoctrinating little boys. Like this one guy, because this guy's name is Sneeko. He's part of this red pill BS. And they were doing a meet and greet, and these little boys, they maybe looked about 10, and they're going around saying, fuck the women, fuck the women. And he's like, oh, what did I do? And he's all laughing, and they're going around saying, fuck the women. I'm like, would you say that to your own mother? Would you say that to your grandmother? Would you say that to your sisters? You know,
They're also doing that, Celeste, sorry, with Peso Pluma, once again, Carol G, these rappers that are coming from, some are Boricuas, some are from, you know, Colombia, Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny, Maluma, all that. And they're wanting the mafia and the mafia wife. One time in band camp, no, I'm just kidding. One time I dated this guy that says, you look like you should be married to a mafioso. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like, all right,
what is wrong with these men? No, I do not consent. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Like having a nice car, the status, beautiful woman, like what Pat Robertson said about Trump's wife. You can tell he's successful. Just look at his wife. It's like she's a property. She's something that makes him look good. He has something that others don't want. Supply of law and demand. You know, it's like you know, law of supply and demand, where you have something others can't have that makes you elevated. You have the rarity thing, and it's like beautiful women. And like what I think it was Charlie Sheen, you got Prince, all these other guys that, you know, they sported multiple women. Even I appreciate Jackie Chang, but he walked around with 2 women with him, you know, when I saw him in person. And it's like that's something that happened to me when I was being set upon at first by Robertson's group. I had 3 women that were with me, their choice to be with me, and it was a protection for me, but they were talking about being wives. And so I put that into the Matrix story, the Immortal story. The Matrix is just Wachowski's term. It's actually the Immortals, with Warner Brothers copyright the title Immortals too. So that was in there, and they put that in the Matrix, the ripoff version, where they have the priestesses in the caverns in Zion. You see them walking by without them being described, but that was what the original Oracle has 7 wives. So I was whispering all this through about what was the plan and what was going on, right? And the architect pays attention to the Oracle in the original Immortals Matrix because he has 7 wives that are beautiful, each with a different stone. So it seems like a reconditioning of women's roles where they are going to be the herd. They're going back to the laws of nature, like Chad was saying too, back to the laws of nature, they call it, where we will be the bucks of a herd and we'll have prominence. And if you want to have my harem, then you have to take me on. But as long as I have it, I'm top guy and there's no disputing it. They're really looking at reinventing the wheel, reinventing everything socially. And with a reset they're talking about, they want to bring this in. It's in Dr. Strangelove. They say that in Dr. Strangelove, that old film, they said, okay, when we go nuclear, we're going to go into the tunnels and it'll be, you know, 7 or 10 women for every man when we're in the tunnels. They're like, oh, that sounds good. You know, the different characters in that movie. Yeah.
Tom. They want to get the men, sorry to interrupt, like how, you know, how you were talking about how they have a starseeds that are, we'll say a man or a woman that's like the perfect one. Okay. And then they originally would choose the women, but now with the indoctrination of AI again and the multiverse with Dr. Strange, what you're saying, they can manipulate the man to manipulate the women. And again, going back to they're building commanders. They're in the secret space program. When I was in the secret space program, what did they do? They used me as a commander, right? Because I had all these abilities and all that. But what happens? There's the AI system that wants to infiltrate the commanders. Commander infiltrates the rest of the people. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, again, going to the iRobot, I Am Legion kind of a thing. The I Am Legion, you know, they're not robotic, but they're like kind of reptilian looking things. Anyway,
Well, you're right about that. Where in the corporations now, what's going to be happening? It happened in religious right. When you're given top position, you're also provided a beautiful woman to be your wife, and maybe multiple. That's part of the corporate system that they're developing now, where the wife will come to you, this woman you have never met, who fits the parameters which they think you would find appealing. And now soon it'll change to AI also mixed in. But she comes up and says, "I'm to be with you. I'm to be with you." It's Stepford Wives again. So really, what is the answer? I really do believe we need to form the visionaries and people who have that are strong, passionate, need to group together, find really good attorneys, and let's reset this world the right way. Enough of this stupid game. They've been making a mess of the world. They failed. They failed. The Fourth Estate failed. So we're the ones that are smart. We have only ourselves to blame if we don't form up and take the reins. So, and now I've just learned that I had always spoken against it, but I've learned that there are military commanders that have been left out of the loop by this corporate military and intelligence community, and they do want to come on board. Now I'm told this now. So now I know there are good leaders that want to see the world righted. That was a surprise to me. I didn't know that. I thought we were on our own. But apparently there's a lot of people on the inside that would like to see something different. They just feel like they're riding a tiger they can't control, like a Shere Khan, they can't get the reins of. And it's being denied them. So, which is interesting because in the Immortal story, I'll stop at this one. The Immortal story, the two sides actually join to stop the architect's plan. It is in the original Immortals, the Matrix story, the original Immortals, that the different agents, free agents, join with the underground. That's a cool story. They joined together. And then what the Wachowskis did was they just showed one agent coming down and gifting something through the iron door slot, which was stupid, to go along to rip off that idea. But we are seeing a change where different sides are changing their lines and changing their alliances so that we can have a better world. I mean, there's a testimony to humanity. And I think that's why we're interesting to other life forms. Intelligent life. I think we're interesting because we are living out a saga. We're basically their South Park. We're basically their Truman Show.
right.
And they find us highly entertaining, I think. Some of them are just there eating popcorn or the equivalent in alien form. I do believe that. But I think women need to step up and take their rights and command, but not do it in a masculine way, because that's just playing in the hands of the men. They want to have women act masculine. I think, Celeste, you hinted on this or something, if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong, that if you play the masculine game, you're playing into the hands of those that want to dominate women. But if you use your femininity, you can win this game very easily. Use your femininity, you'll beat the men because they don't know how to use femininity.
Yeah, like your divine femininity, because for some women it's like being sexy, and so it's like, no, it's that heart space, that soul space, like coming as a genuine woman. It's just like, I'm not here to try to deceive you. I'm here on behalf of all women. Like, what is happening in this world? Why is it that we can't get along? Why is it that we can't have conversations? Like, why are we seen as the weaker sex? Like, where are all these ideas coming from? Why can't both genders be the strong sexes? Why is one stronger than the other? I understand, yes, we're different. We're built different. Men are stronger than women, but we can be strong together, and we, that power together, just bring that power together. But I think that's why they're pitting, because the guy who started all this red pill crap, his name is Myron Gaines off of Fresh and Fit. He actually worked for the FBI. I don't know why people aren't putting two and two together. Come on. The guy worked for the FBI, and then now here he is, one of the biggest voices against women, and men need to rise up in their alphaness and just tell women to shut up and get back. Andrew Tate too, one of the worst of the worst. Like, that guy's just scum. But yeah, you have women backing him up.
Peterson also. Jesse Lee Peterson also talks a little bit on this type of thing. He's really big on that.
Yeah.
No, in the original Immortals, it was the woman that saves the day, the wife of Neo, which they took that relationship out. The FBI took it out. The Wachowskis, when they give them the work, took it out. It's supposed to be the wife of Neo, who's reprogrammed, has her memories erased, that saves everything. She saves her husband in the original, in the end of work. They didn't want that. The FBI didn't want that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. See, they didn't want that, did they? So yeah,
They just don't want that beautiful story of, a woman saving her man out of pure love. It's not because
that's right.
I'm a woman, I'm going to show him star. It's like, this doesn't have to do with that. It's just,
You're right. That's why the femme fatale comes from the Immortals. That's what is pointed out by Hollywood themselves. The femme fatale is Trinity sacrificing herself for Neo. And that's not Neo's wife. It's one of the Oracle's wife, but she sacrifices herself for Neo to save him, the Neo counterpart. And that's the first time you see the femme fatale. And you'll see it over and over and over now in Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, in a High Castle. The femme fatale takes her grenade and blows herself up, and takes her grenade and blows herself up. It's like, well, they're all on her. That's from the original work also. So, but I do see what the Cabal is terrified of is women working together that are classy, savvy. I told Rosanne this. She agreed. She said she's that too. Savvy, classy, on it, unafraid, fearless.
educated.
That's what it is. I see a bunch of women that are just so classy, come together without any makeup, without any of the man products to impress men, getting together and just going, we're going to take the reins back. And that was what Rosanne shared with me was her plan. I think I told you that, Chad, right? Her plan, the Council of Grandmothers based from the Iroquois Nation that Ben Franklin talked about. She told it to me. The Grandmother Council. How powerful is that? A council of grandmothers. Well, the Cabal doesn't know what to do with that. They're not attracted to them. They don't know what to do with them. They can't own them. They can't trade them. They're not a commodity to them. Oh my gosh, they got brains. What are you going to do? So yeah, sorry.
But what about brains and beauty? I mean, I always say that we starseeds are that. We are beautiful and we are very smart. All of us starseeds are.
Well, that's what I was saying could stop the Cabal. Also, I had said that beautiful. I actually said it on Emma's show before she was turned and bought. I said beauty and power is what they're most afraid of. Then she's bought right after that. Right after that, and strikes all the content. Right after that. So it's like right after I said that was the main concern of the FBI and the agencies was somebody like yourself, like Celeste, coming forward and saying, not revealing them and saying you guys are losers basically out there. You Cabal guys are not that special. You're not that. They can't stand being made out to be not God's gift to the world and women. See, imagine Pat Robertson saying what he said about Trump's wife. You can tell he's successful. Look at his wife, Iman. And someone said, "Well, Robertson, you're a loser. A beautiful woman tells him he's a loser. He would never want that on the air." Right? He wants to make it like that his main demographic is women that he preys upon to give to his company. And he would not be able to survive that. They don't have to survive that. That's how women can bring down the Cabal. Reveal these guys one by one, call them out that they're not special. They want to feel like they're narcissists. They want to feel like they're God's gift to them. But yeah, Emma sold out right after I said that on her show. That's about beautiful women can bring the Cabal down. The Cabal didn't like that. So they offered her a deal.
Thank you, Tom. Real quick, Celeste, I'm going to read your comment. Money attracts disloyal men and women, but not all. I don't think that would be me. Like money won't, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, expand on that, Celeste.
I'm just talking about those, like the people that just want that money and that status. Like say like Tom's sister. Money does attract to disloyal men and women. So people who are in that survival mode, they're gonna sell out. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be starving.
And
those are the people who aren't resourceful. Those are the people who don't have imagination. Those are people who aren't creative how to survive. Those are the people who cannot survive without these dependencies that they need. People like us, we know how to survive. I don't have a car. I know where I can walk or I can get a bike somewhere. When I didn't have, like go to the food bank so you can stretch your money for the gas or, you just got to be resourceful. And some people are like, oh, I didn't think about that. And it's just like, it's common sense. But I guess some people have it and some people don't.
You're so right. I mean, resourceful and you're able to, think outside the box and you're sharp. That's what happens. And these other people, like you said, they're handed a script on what to say. And they sound so stupid when they say it, but they say the same thing over and over. And they feel so important every time they drop that word for the umpteenth time, like you're delusional. It's like they say these words all the time, like from a script. that they're given by
it's just buzzwords and trigger words. You know, they just want to say the right word so it does trigger, you know, the sheeple.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
oh, I just heard that word. I know what that means. So then they can regurgitate it.
Exactly. It's like what that Knight's Tale, I think it was Knight's Tale, where the guy, like I may have said this before, but the guy comes up to the other knight and he says, "Your mama." And he's like, "Mother jokes went out a long time ago." And the last thing he says when he didn't know what to say is he comes and goes, "Your mama." He's like, he doesn't know what to say. So he says these words that are scripted. And they have no brain. They're not a creative. You know?
They're not creative people. Those are the people they want to control. Those that are easily corruptible, easily to manipulate. Hey, I got $100 here, and
Got some
you know,
power.
they'll sell their mama, you know, and it's just like,
Right.
I can make $100, and then I can turn that into 100,000. I can turn that into $1 million. You know, they don't want those people.
Imagine being, imagine being handed right now. They come in your home and they dump cash all over your floor. Your loved ones see it, just cash all over your floor, because they're paying cash to do these things, and you don't have to work for it. You don't have to earn it. Pat Robertson's organization was the same thing, the Religious Right. I had guys that were moving up in the ranks there that said they had no idea what they were doing, but as long as they were loyal, they were being paid more than ever been paid before, and they really didn't have to do anything. They simply held these positions, and it wasn't even their area of expertise. Just as long as they're loyal, they're paid really well and given everything else, right? If I had said yes, limo service, you name it, the jet, airplane, all that stuff, what Ralph Reed got was mine, including the beautiful wives. But that's what they blew it on. When the beautiful wife came up, the beautiful girl to be my wife, Christine, when she appeared, she was gorgeous, beautiful, and everything. But I was like, I don't want this. I don't want somebody against their own free will. I don't want it. And they tried that again and again. These honeypot wives that don't even know who they are. You know, it's very sad. Very sad.
It is sad.
You can blame Northcom for that. And
You know,
all the CIA, all the umbrella corporations, you know, they're given a task, and then all these branches are, you know, the farming, the music industry, all the 13 families, 300 families.
they don't change their policies. They don't change their playbook. My question is, are they doing this with men? Are they sending men towards women in power, saying, "I'm going to be your husband. I'm to be with you"? Is there subservient men in the cabal system? I don't know. I haven't heard that yet.
Yes, I say yes.
All right. So, wow. All right, guys.
I see it. So anyway, I will, do you guys want to say anything else before we end? Because I know after the show, Chad has a lot of questions for Tom. We'll take a break after, but anything else you'd like to tell?
I want to say one thing, because a song keeps playing in my head and it's super powerful, and it's that Johnny Cash remake of Hurt. And he says in there, "And you can have it all, my empire of dirt." And this song is super powerful, and I understand what he's saying in there. And I understand who he's talking to in that, because he did sing Ring of Fire. You know, I think he was caught up in this business and came through it. But in the end, I think he chose his side, because he said, "And you can have it all, my empire of dirt." Because that's exactly what it is that they're accumulating. We don't take a dollar with us when we leave, and I don't plan to. I was talking about doing a documentary for Tom, and I have certain songs that I'd like to put on there. But all the profits go towards attorneys, you know, so it does seem possible. We're working towards that. You know, I try to think of community standards, you know, like, because there's people that are solution oriented. I'm very solution oriented. I never stay on the problem for more than a beat. But then everybody else is problem oriented. They just focus on the problems. And I think, like, okay, in a community, like I said before, there's no weak, you know, everybody has a value of some sort and can contribute, and it's just a matter of finding that attribute in them. And so, but as far as a group and getting something done constructively, then yes, I think we should have like a group of people that are definitely solution oriented and are creative, and get our attorneys together. Because if that's what you're thinking, then that's what we should, you know, within the year try. Yeah,
I think that will break their system. Having been groomed by the inside to lead, I think that's the way we can lead as a group, as a think tank, if you will.
I've always wanted to join one.
Yeah,
I've always seen them. I've always wanted to be
And-
in it, but
and have savvy women on it who are also grandmothers too, and starseed beautiful
Yeah.
ones. So
because
let's have it all, and we'll have every perspective, and we'll have every discipline, and we'll be able to solve problems at the same time. That was what I was thinking when I wrote The Immortals, and that's what I want to see happen now. A remnant gathered, a remnant of the best of, well, I mean, best as far as ones that feel called, that have cross disciplines, that have compassion, that have smarts, savvy, unafraid. That's one of the big requirements, is fearless. Don't come if you're fearful. You'll just get in the way. If you're fearless, join the table. Come
Heck
to the
yeah. Yes. Yes, yes. But thank you, everyone. Celeste, any last words? We're good?
I second that emotion. I definitely agree with Tom. You know, we have to, and it's got to start with us. You know, we might be a small group, but soon enough, you know, the right people will come. So, like you said, you know, the new star seeds, the new people that are waking up. You know, so I feel like you, Veronica, your channel is just starting over, and the new people are going to come in, and you're gonna activate these people, and I feel like you're reactivating your channel. You're just reactivating yourself.
Thank you, Cele. That's why I went to Savannah, even though, you know, physically it was hard, but I'm glad I went because I actually reactivated my DNA. I got new friends that are women, that are entrepreneurs, that have created from their creation, right? They have these beautiful homes. They've made it without, and you know, there's one that I'm not going to say who, but her husband ended up being Scientology, and he was trying to end her life. And well, his son ended his life because of a program through Scientology. And then before he was with Scientology, he went to the FBI. And my heart goes out to her and people like us that we will not be sold out. And I reactivated my DNA, and I'm here reactivating my channel. And thanks to you people, my friends, you star seeds, my friends, right? Tom, thank you for being on. Chad and Celeste, thank you for seeing also my journey of how many people have infiltrated the channel and tried to change my mind about certain things. Right? We won't talk about it here, Celeste, but you know who we're talking about. The video you were talking
Yeah.
about yesterday. It's
You know, I mean,
no,
the only thing I have to say about that is, I mean, they're gonna have to pick a side. The day's coming where they're gonna have to choose a side. So, I mean, we're just gonna have to wait here with open arms then when they're ready to finally see where the winning side is and where they need to be. Yep.
and God help you if you're on the opposite side of us.
Yeah, God help on the other opposite
We are
side, because-
fearless. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
That's
we're gonna hit
so-
hard, and we're gonna hit hard, but it's not out of malice. It's like we're over it. We just want to
done
see
with
justice done. We want to see righteous justice done, and we're just tired of the bullshit. We're just tired of seeing all this. Everyone's suffering. We're just done. Like, it's over.
Compassionate people are not weak. We're not weak. We are fearless, and we are strong, and we will do what's right, and we'll knock those down that are in the way of trying to stop right being done if they're being obstinate. So yeah, it's
Like,
not.
I feel like we kind of have to be like that wolf pack. You know, we work together, and we're actually working as a family. And like with Chad, you know, I think of that song, a song that says, "Wolves hiding nearby, whispering, do or die around me." So that's us. We're whispering to these people, do or die.
I love that. That's so it. That's so it. You know, the other side desires that. The other side desires that. They're based on, it's all about power, only power. And so, like we said, they are always going to be against each other when it comes down to
They
it.
forget that a wolf pack is a family pack. So when they try to say they're wolves, and I'm like, well, no, you're not, because they're a family. They work together. The
We
mom
work
and the
together.
dad, they
Right.
bring it down, and then everyone gets
Yeah.
their share.
Right. At the end of the day, it's about we survived together. We celebrate that we did it together. To them, it's all about individual power and having influence, being the one that's top. We are, like you said, Chad, we're not alpha in our pack. We are, we are ones that are, they're each equally celebrating and achieving. I think it's a wonderful image.
Yeah, I see men actually now. I see men in the future showing what a real leader is, and you know, a guide, like what it is to be a man. That's like, you are a leader, but you know, you put yourself at the last of the pack because you want to see everyone else, you know, fed and, you know, protected first before yourself, you know, not like
I
the whole
agree.
sacrifice thing, but you know, it's just like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure everyone's good before I'm good, because
Yeah, I
if
agree.
everyone's not good, then how am I good?
A real man, I believe a real man will not draw attention to himself. A real man's
Yeah.
not seeking to draw attention. He doesn't need that. He
Nope.
feels grounded in who he is in genuine masculinity. And it's interesting, I had thought, if we were to ask each other, you know, if Chad and I were to say, what is divine femininity? I think I'd fall short in the description. I really don't know. And if you were to describe divine masculinity, you know, I don't think we've had that opportunity to really explore or learn. We haven't been taught in schools. We haven't been taught often in families what it is. I pretty much am clueless to what real divine femininity is, and I would look forward to discovering it and seeing it just fly and do its
Okay. That would be a nice discussion. I have a lot of thought put into that topic.
We can do
Not
that.
right now.
We can do that next time.
Yeah,
But you know,
I have a lot of thought in that one.
I actually always think about that. I always think about how the family is. I've always wanted to have, we'll say, for purposes, a husband who loves me and I love him. And our children see that we love each other and we're not going to backstab each other and we're not going to be making fun of each other with families. Like, haha, she did this. Yeah. Like, that's how my marriage was. It's like, how stupid is Vero? Look at how stupid she is. Look at no, but he wouldn't say it that way. He would manipulate my family and my friends. And I'm like, and then they'd laugh at me. I don't want that. And then my kids would laugh at me. It's like, no, I think a husband and wife should love each other, or, you know, partners, and be there 100% without, you know, criticizing each other in public and like humiliating. That's not right.
That's not a husband. That
That's,
doesn't sound, that
and
just sound
then
like you
not
just
wanting
got a little
to,
boyfriend.
right. It's like not wanting to provide for the woman when the woman, like, say she's creative and she makes things to sell or whatever, and he brings home, like they say, a man is supposed to be like protective of a woman, but a woman is very protective of a man. Like, don't mess with the woman when she loves her man. Forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
death, you know, by sword, you know, guillotine, whack, no questions asked. You heard my husband, you're done.
I love that too. I think the smoldering look from a woman safeguarding her man, where she's not even saying any words, she's just going like looking at the other person, like, and they're shutting down. It's like, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway,
Like, oh, with your head.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'll let you go for now. And thank you for watching Codebreaker. And we'll put this video up soon. And my classes, I learned from Tom. I put my 2 classes of AI and nanotechnology bloodlines for free. It's extensive. Yes, I'm goofy. I had to make it fun because the topics are like, what did she just say? You know? All right. So love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Tom. Love you, Tom. Love you, Chad. Love you, Celeste.
Love you.
Bye.